I'm just gonna hit these buttons. We were having a discussion. It's like any pre-show for this show. As I'm working on stuff, I get distracted because we're having a discussion. Sometimes I can get that done while the discussion's going on because the discussion doesn't involve me. When it does involve me, it becomes just longer. But hi, everybody. Welcome. It's Children of Rath. It's just the two of us today. Just the two of us.
Make it if we try, just the two of us.
That's enough because, we don't want to be DMCA'd, and I'm not good at that song, so that means, that's why. I only have the singing part of it and that part of it, so, a couple seconds here. But anyway, yes, we're having a Claud special this week. The plan was for having it last week. Joe was sick. We couldn't do it, so they're having it this week. We're having Joe enter into his mind and speaks with some of his various creatures that are inhabiting his body because, they're all part of his makeup as they were murdered and thrown into him. That old
trying to seduce myself.
That is not going to work. I keep telling you, but, if you want to try, it's your stab to the spiritual brain. If you want to wake up with, horrible, horrible migraines when you don't really have a brain the same way as anybody else, good luck on that.
I'm trying to seduce the tree folk.
I don't think it's gendered. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they have a gender. They probably
don't have to have a gender.
They're probably both. They're probably both because they're trees. I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't seduce. They're not attracted to you. They might find you interesting at most. They're like, I find you interesting. I won't smote you horribly. Are you trying to attract a lizard now?
No, that'd be more than this.
Or is that making yourself look bigger to detract?
You don't know how big I am.
Yeah.
You don't know how big I am.
Yeah, just blow up your cheeks so you don't know how big I am. Or is it the what was it? Feeble mind, where it reduces you to lizard intelligence, so you have to act like a lizard. Yeah.
Well, hey, we are going to be doing that female half dragon first.
True. I did.
She may be interested. You never know. I mean, I have a 16 charisma.
You do, and that doesn't help. Or it does. I will find out.
Roll a nat 20.
That doesn't help. Gonna be honest on that one. Nat 20 don't matter. So, anyway, the first of your meditative states, because these can kind of take place whenever. The order of these doesn't really matter. These are just kind of meditative states that Claud enters into it when he has some time to enter into them, to confer with what's inside of his soul, in a way, to confer with everything that exists within you.
Hey, it worked with my giant half.
Yeah. It's not difficult to kind of begin your meditation process and to try to break into whatever your mind is. It just is a
hopefully I land more gracefully this time.
Well, it's sort of like it's one of your time. It's like you have to try more than once. It's like just getting into a state of meditation is just one thing, but it's sort of like trying to just explore and prod your mind. And it just so happens on this opportunity, this time, that something changes. That it's almost like as you're trying to break out the world to yourself, the world seems to the darkness in your mind and in your eyes just kind of shifts a little bit and kind of changes. It almost kind of goes through a hue, a little bit of a phase, and you feel as though there's maybe brightness or something in your closed eyes, and when you open your eyes, you're just in rather than where you were probably on the ship, honestly, you're now just in this area of just fog. It just seems to be kind of consuming everything. It just is there.
Hello?
It's quiet. Empty. It's just kind of light fog, but it's like not purely light out. It's kind of got a little bit of like darkness to everything too. It just feels quiet.
Is it like normal ground underneath me, or is it like stone?
It feels like nothing. It feels solid, but like it's just fog that it just kind of covers the floor, and like even if you like kind of like reach down into it, you just can't see through the fog to see what's on the ground beneath you. It just seems to be kind of like this low-level fog that just kind of goes over everything.
I guess I'll carefully start moving forward.
All right. You kind of move through the fog, the obscuring mists that surround you, and you can begin to see that there are like... Well, the first thing you do is you begin to hear stuff. Echoes. Small voices. Nothing you can quite make out what they are, but you can just hear them in the back of your mind, like just like almost as if you're just hearing them somewhere out in the mists. Words you can't understand, voices you seem familiar, things like that. Like almost as if you're wandering a cataclysm of memory in a way. It feels like everything feels familiar yet different. And the longer you walk, the more like you get this almost echoes and garbled voices.
Is anybody out there? Can you hear me?
There continues to be no response. It just is more quiet. It just seems to... Well, not necessarily quiet, but noise. Just has more of that noise.
Is anything particularly louder than anything else? Like any direction?
You don't feel any direction at this point in time.
I guess I'll keep moving forward then.
As you kind of push forward through all this, it feels like the noise is getting louder and louder, and it's getting kind of like a muffled just noise all around you. You also begin to see almost what looks like shadows in the mist. Movement of figures that seem to like appear and disappear.
I'll keep moving forward. Maybe I'm getting closer to something at least.
It doesn't feel like you are. It feels like you're wading deeper into maybe madness, into something strange. And as you walk forward for a while, it just feels like that, like you're not making any progress. But then you feel something. It feels like a hand on your shoulder, but one that is very large. Just almost stops you for a second.
I'll turn my head back.
There's nothing there. But you hear something in amongst the voices. Just maybe an idea more than actually words. Concentrate. Concentrate on the memory.
I'll try to concentrate on, on this place. Like, trying to think of, trying to give it form of some sort.
Names have power.
Atigna?
As you concentrate this time with the advice of one of your spirits, something begins to take form. A shadow of a shape kind of in front of you, almost like it's confronting you. almost as if like the voices are beginning to like lessen except for one set of them. So now it's the same voice that seems to be echoing on itself, constantly overriding itself. You still can't understand what's being said, but it's almost as if it's just, rather than a cacophony of voices, it's just one voice 1,000 times over top of it. And then as that gets louder and louder, you drop. The ground disappears beneath you. And you fall, and you fall, and you fall. And you land with a thump into ground.
I know this feeling.
You're somewhere strange. Different than anything you've seen before. It is wild. This place here is filled with strange trees. Different from anything you've ever seen. They almost seem like vine-like. Massive green spires that kind of pop out and have giant leaves coming out of them. Almost thinking of like, for something we would compare to. Like images of like the beanstalk from Jack and the Beanstalk, except these are like weird trees that start out very large and kind of like taper off very quickly with these almost kind of side branches of these kind of like sprigs out, and they're covered in these giant colorful flowers.
I'm gonna walk up to one of the flowers and kind of smell it.
It's different. You've never smelled anything like this before. It's you smelled flowers, sure, you know, but it's got this kind of like sweetness to it almost, and like a little bit of like, it's like as you get that smell, you get almost like a taste of sweet and sour in your mouth almost, you know. The smell is so pungent and strong from this massive flower, because the flower itself is maybe the size of a cantaloupe.
Right. I'm gonna look around. Do I see any like signs of life, like footprints,
You hear
sounds?
animals, birds, small, probably rodents and mammals, and or maybe lizards or something. But you hear sound of animals. Nothing large, just a cacophony of like birds, the hum of some insects. You hear the trickle of a stream somewhere nearby. You can hear the wind. Everything feels very alive here.
Tegna, are you near?
A massive shadow will cloud the sky above you.
I will look
just
up.
for a second. Something large passed above the treetops.
Can I tell what direction it went?
Yes. The kind of path you're on, which now you realize must be some kind of like dry riverbed, because you can hear like the bits of the stream that still is remaining in here going by. It seems to be following along that.
I will follow it then.
Following through, you continue to see more of this strange wilderness. Strange colorful birds, mammals, small reptiles, insects, all which are very alien to you, yet familiar. And familiar because not only does it match what you know in Dominaria, but just everything about this place feels familiar.
Like part of me's been here before.
Perhaps. Eventually the stream will break out and move into a lake. A large, pristine lake with a kind of almost bluish-purple hue to the water. Makes it very beautiful. You can see that there are all kinds of, like, birds and wildlife around. Fish are jumping. This place continues to feel alive.
I'm gonna look up and around. Nothing in the sky at the moment.
Nothing in the sky.
I'm going to kneel down and take a handful of water and drink a little.
It's fresh. It's pristine, clear. It's wherever this is far from people. Maybe you're not sure. You're not really sure where you are. This place is odd. You can tell there's certain things about it. This place is rich in magic, mana. It feels like it's flowing everywhere. You hear a noise across the lake.
I'll look.
Emerging from the trees and flying up into the sky is a massive dragon. It takes flight and flies off.
What direction?
Through the wilderness.
Like the way I came or further?
Further.
I'll continue around the lake then and continue where that went.
You'll have to pass by where it lifted off from. And that leads you to a clearing in the forest. One that doesn't seem to be new. You can tell where the great beast landed. It was a dragon of probably large size. You've seen dragons of large size, and that certainly matched some of the ones you've seen before. Of the greatest elder dragons in Dominaria. And it was familiar, though, too. The beast felt there was something about it.
I'll search around this area.
There's a cave here. A small cave, and what looks to be signs of some kind of habitation. Outside the cave, there's a small makeshift wooden table and chairs set up with plates.
I'll walk up to the cave entrance and just say into it, "Is anybody here?"
There's no response. But soon you'll hear a noise of something dropping, water spilling behind you. There's a small child, a strange child. It has this jet red hair, reptilian wings, horns, claws, but seems vaguely human. It hisses at you.
I don't mean you any harm.
It doesn't seem to understand you. It gets down in almost a bestial stance, kind of growling and hissing, ready to kind of pounce at you.
Put my hands up, palms out, show, I don't mean to, I'm not here to hurt you. Try to say it in as calming of a voice as I can. Because I don't speak Draconic. That I know of, at least.
You hear a different voice behind you. Tagna may not listen to you.
I'll slowly turn around.
The very dragon you saw earlier is now perched above the cave, staring down at you.
Hello, I don't mean any harm here.
No. Harm has already been done.
Are you a Tigna?
No. I am her father.
Is the harm you speak of that has been done to her.
Yes. You are reaching out and speaking to me as I am in my realm. I had not sensed her and thought her lost long ago. She is lost, and I mourn once again for it, but perhaps in a different way.
I believe she is part of me.
Yes. Drawn to a land different from our own, tortured to find her secrets, and murdered. I sense that she is now more beast than person because of this. The things she went through were awful.
I know.
She is special. Perhaps you should know where she comes from.
I would like to know, yes.
I am an elder amongst my kind where I come from. I have long since delved into the powers of magic, and our home, as you can feel, is one of magic. Many travelers from faraway places have come here over the eons, seeking our energies to learn more. Those that walk between the worlds have abused our realm, but here in the far-off wilds, we remain the same. But something happened one time. A traveler, a unique one. One that had found a change in themselves long ago. They had found a piece of divine. They were akin to part angel, part mortal. The process which had come about to her, I am not completely sure. But her energy, I fell in love with it. And my magics, and hers, allowed us to find a time together. Something that our two kinds should not have had. Even with that passion, there should not have been anything that came across of such a union. Even when my kind can learn magics to become like others, we are incompatible. But perhaps that spark of divine, of angelic energy within her allowed a miracle to happen. She had to leave our realm. And the two of us. Her tasks were elsewhere. Her home itself was under a threat, and she needed to take care of it. She never returned, so I could only assume that the threat was too much for her, or when the change happened, when the echoes rippled through our realm, and when the travelers stopped coming in such droves, that may have affected her too. I have not seen her since, but the century we spent together I will always remember, and the time and daughter she gave me. This daughter is different than any other being, or she was. A unique creature, both dragon and human, and perhaps a little bit of angel. Mixing it all together. I looked after her as she grew. It took what seemed like a drop in my bucket of time, but a eon for your kinds, to have her grow, to learn. This place here is where we spent much of her childhood. I took my humanoid form help build her a home, to look after her, as I will patrol my lands. This paradise is what she remembers of her childhood.
It is quite beautiful here.
Chandalar is a place of beauty and power.
When was she taken?
Centuries ago. It is hard to tell exactly. I don't keep track of time like you do. And our worlds are similar but different. We were cut off. The connection we had. We could always speak in our minds. Perhaps a gift of her mother's that allowed us to always be connected. I was sad when I lost it. I originally thought her dead. Some rival, some creature, some enemy came and got her, but I never found her body. I'd given up hope that she had been maybe kidnapped or something of the such. But it seems as though I was wrong, unfortunately.
Well, partially. Kidnapping was a part of it, I'm sure. Unfortunately, the monsters, the Phyrexians, like to experiment.
Yes. There is something you can do. Man from another world, made of many. You can bring my daughter back to life. Hers is a being that is spiritual more than physical. It means that it's very difficult for her to end, her life to end. Not impossible, but difficult. There may be a chance for reincarnation here on Chandalar. If you can find a way here, you can bring her back.
I do have a companion that has been interested in trying to travel.
Why did you want to contact her?
I'm trying to make peace with those within me.
Then I can give you one gift. If you tell me, if you swear that you will bring her back, I will help you make peace with her, and perhaps be able to use more of her abilities to help yourself.
There's nothing more that I would love to do than to give peace to any part of me. And if I can give life back to someone who is taken, I'd be more than happy to.
Then I will do something that is worthy of a father. She will forget her time in Rath, and I will remember it for her. She will just think that perhaps she merged with you in accident when she traveled dimensions. It is a lie, but it's a lie my powers can give you. That is as much as I can do. It is our connection that allows it. But I'm afraid our connection will weaken after this. You will not be able to speak to me again. It was merely perhaps luck, perhaps some strength of some of the others within you that have assisted you in this quest.
I promise if there's a way for me to travel to your realm, I will do it as soon as I can.
You have centuries, perhaps longer. We are all long-lived. But I will expect you. Claud? Yes.
Yes.
Come to Chandelar. Seek the great wilds. Seek Olirant, my domain. And I will find you. As everything once again becomes mist and overtakes you. And you disappear. And you will hear a voice. A feminine voice now, as you return to that fog. As it's like this, damn it. Look, if we're gonna be stuck together in the same body, guess I can help you out.
A Tigna, I presume?
Yeah. Look, you seem weak, but it's okay. You need strength like mine if you're gonna get anywhere in life. Maybe we can get you bulked up a bit. Ugh.
I think you would also enjoy the company of one of our other friends here.
We'll crush some mountains. Find the biggest creature and fight it just to look the best. I am the greatest there is, after all.
And very modest.
Hey, I wasn't known as the Lord of all of the Shadowwood for nothing. It required some work and a lot of this. And don't worry, you're going to get a lot of that. I am the most powerful one there ever was.
I'm sure you'll be a great help.
Yeah. You can easily sense there's something about her. She's an idiot. Probably incredibly powerful when using her abilities, but an idiot.
Very strong and powerful, not so bright.
Honestly, you're not sure how old she is, but it feels like that you never quite matured kind of thing. Maybe she needs a couple more millennia to mature, honestly.
You're still a teenager.
Half dragons that, shouldn't exist, but, one acts...
half dragon, part angel.
Who is the daughter of a planeswalker and a powerful dragon lord of Chandelar. Yeah.
Yeah.
a half-angel planeswalker. Or, well, it's the thing of, I found a way to become divine, along the way. And make myself into a half-angel. That thing.
That old chestnut.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
I know. I had to say it for you.
I mean, it's sort of like Obnixilis. He was a dude who became a demon, so it can happen. Strange stuff can happen. So,
Strange stuff is here. What are you talking about?
Yes. But no. So, yes. Tagna is now, you're able to communicate with her. And she remembers nothing of Rath at this point in time.
And I will not bring it up.
Mm-hmm. So, another time, another opportunity to deeply look into your own mind. And of course, looking into that is not always an easy thing to do.
No. Because part of me is always scared to do it because I'm afraid of what I might run into.
Mm-hmm.
Or who I might run into.
Yeah. But this time you try again. And of course, once again, you find yourself deep within the fog. It's becoming easier to understand it now that you've reached it once. It's a muddling of everything that you are. And you begin to understand that a little better. You understand where you can kind of push yourself once you're there. It's still not easy. In no essence of the word is it easy. But at least you have a better understanding of what it is that you're incurring yourself into, what you're encountering once you travel there. And so you are within the fog again. The voices echoing. What do you do this time?
I'm going to focus on probably what's going to be one of the more difficult ones.
Mm-hmm.
One who is many.
One who is many.
The Sliver.
All right.
Because I don't have a name for that because they aren't really named. But that's kind of where my mind thinks is like focus on someone who's an individual yet part of more.
Mm-hmm. A familiar voice echoes out this time. As you try to like delve into that. As you kind of like touch into that a little bit more. Why are you calling out to us? Your voice has been quiet. Hidden. But yet now, we can sense you again. Why?
I want to understand more of this part of me.
That part of you is not as individual as you would think. There are individuals within the hive, but we are still part of it. I am I, but I am also we. And you must be prepared for that if you wish to dive into us. Will you be we?
I understand that connection. Just like I am Claud, but I also am an amalgamation of everyone who's within me. I'm an individual, but I'm only part of everything else that makes up me. It's different.
Yes.
I do understand. But I still do have an understanding of it in a way.
Then perhaps you should begin to feel what it is to be part of the hive.
I am ready.
Everything changes for a second. You feel funny. There are noises all around you. You're somewhere dark. But you can see. Feels like there's tunnels all around. Your body feels weird, different. You are not you? Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. You're not you. You're something else. But you're here now. And there's a voice calling to you. It's telling you to come. It's time to awaken.
I will follow it.
You move your body out. There are others there. They're also awakening. There's much to do. There are places to dig. Food to gain. Things to do. Hi, Damien. Yes.
Damien's to pet.
I mean, that's normal. Yes, Damien.
He is very vocal tonight.
Well, she showed up and is like, I need attention right now. I didn't have enough today. Meow, meow, meow. I gave you pets earlier. It's weird being what equates to a drone in a hive. It's a world of, like, thousands of voices echoing all the time. And these voices, they mean something, but they also don't, in a way. It's like you can hear them. You can hear everybody speaking. Everything's speaking. And, like, there does seem to be a voice above all that almost is ordering everything to do. And there's order. Every being seems to have a part. It's a machine. It lives. It works together. The young are tended. Food is hunted. Passages are built. Enemies are attacked. Things are defended. It repeats over and over again. The world just seems to have a purpose. Everything is in perfect order. And then something happens. Then the voice disappears. Panic. Chaos. The voices become less harmonized. The aggression. Damage. You start killing each other. You start arguing. You start not understanding each other. The voice is gone. And this lasts for a while. But then another voice. And another. These voices, they don't feel the same, but they reassure. It's not the same. Everything feels bad still. Something is still wrong. But at least there is order again. You spend some time existing in here and beginning to understand. The voice that was needed is gone. What was needed is gone. There's not been another like it. It was taken. The voice was taken. And it was hard to hear for some time. And then it disappeared. Other voices have now existed, but not as strong. There is one, a familiar voice. It's new. It's more reassuring. But the voice is also so very different. It's part of the cacophony, but also does not harmonize with it the same way. It is so very alien. You spend who knows how long existing within this cacophony of voices before things seem to quiet again. And you find yourself, you, no longer within the fog, in just darkness, on a ground you can't see. What's it truly like to be many? Have you ever asked yourself?
I mean, I have asked myself in the way I am many.
You are not many. You are but one. One who pretends to be many. It is gone. She is gone. We have suffered. No true queen has been born. Voices have been heard, but they have not been the same. We are fractured. Our connections weakened between the realms. My birth strengthened them again. We became more one. Chaos was removed. The hives became stronger again. My existence has saved us. But the evolutions in her place have been strange. Why am I like them? What evolution does this serve? To become more man? Can you answer these questions?
Maybe to bring a different understanding to the hive?
I'm not the first, though. Our kind began to shift on our home realm. It is not the only realm we are in, but is the one that was always the strongest, where true queens were once born. When she disappeared, when she went to Rath, things changed forever. That which tried to take her place did its best. But in our home, we changed. The form of those that once hunted and destroyed us became our form. So, what does that mean? To evolve, to change. Perhaps to become your predator, or perhaps to become stronger than it.
I mean, if you're more like your enemy, then you can understand it better.
Do you hear it? Listen. Listen carefully. You have heard the voices, the hive. How many of us there are, how many voices there are. But have you heard it?
The harmony or the disharmony?
No. The soft whisper.
I'll try to concentrate.
You concentrate for a bit. And it's hard. It's hard because it's... When you concentrate and try to connect, you're connecting to millions of voices that speak as one. It's overwhelming. You can realize that when you were the drone, you were just merely an echo in there. You weren't a strong voice.
Right.
And your voice was just drowned out it didn't matter then. The voices didn't matter. What they wanted mattered. But now it's different. You're listening to the voices and what they're saying. You're trying to concentrate on what they're saying and what's in there. And it's hard. It hurts. It's clouding. It's maddening. But for a second, you hear something. A quiet cry. Almost a plea for help. Coming from somewhere.
I'll focus in on that. Or at least try.
It doesn't focus. It's out there. It's muffled. It's hidden, but it's different. But it feels familiar. It feels right. It feels a queen.
The queen's still alive somewhere.
No. It is not. There has not been just one queen. There have been many. It is a new queen. And she is hidden. So, now you know. What will you do?
He needs to be found and put in a proper place, so the hive can be have order again.
And now you know. You could try to contact us, but it will never quite be what you wish for. Because when you contact the one within you, you contact us all. And we have a purpose that is different from yours. You will never truly be part of the hive until a voice is free and with us again.
That must be what one other of your kind I've met. That must be what he is trying to do. Or they are trying to do.
This is him.
Oh, this is... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is... Okay, so this is what you're seeking.
Yes, this is Tell.
Okay. So this is why you're working with the others.
She is
They're
a mother
willing to help
to
you.
us all. She is our strength. We can be Boar without her, but she can control evolution and change. She can manipulate the hive and have us all become what we need to be to adapt to any situation. With her, the brood becomes stronger. No longer will small individuals be needed. Many are born. The hive can be truly a hive again. And the voices can be heard.
Go ahead.
The voices can be heard across all of us.
Do you know who has taken her?
I know how she can rejoin us again. That's enough on that. Just because you know something doesn't mean you know what that something is and what it means.
Understood.
You may have your opportunities. Perhaps when they occur, you will remember that you are also part of a different hive. Maybe enough of you is us for it to matter. We shall see. As the voices fade. And the darkness becomes the mist and is gone again. But now, you perhaps have learned something that is helpful to know.
Yes. We now know... Well, I now know what he is seeking.
Yep. So, I think we'll pop on here because I don't know if you want to... You could take a break now.
Why don't we just take a quick one real quick? I just want to check on it and everything. And
Yeah. So we'll take a quick break here. If anybody needs a snack, drink, bathroom break, do it, and we'll be back in a little bit to do the other two. We were planning on doing 4 of these for now. I might do more of these specials, like, in the future, as we want to do more, but this is like a 4 that, Joe wanted to kind of dive into. And these are going to be interesting things for them. So if you need any of those things, go ahead and take it, and we'll be back in a bit. And this one here, and this one here, and welcome back. That's not the right thing. Why not? Oh. Because that disconnected and I reconnected it, so it was messed up for a second. You're not frozen.
No, I was wiggling my fingers.
Oh. But we're back. So you've talked to a couple of things here, and they went well.
Hey, I got some information that's useful.
That's true.
And I made some peace and have a new mission.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Progress.
No.
So, what's the plan now?
Well, I think we'll get the other harder one out of the way.
Ah.
This one's not going to be pleasant, I don't think. We'll leave the last one for probably ending on a more pleasant note.
Oh, that's always pleasant. A little better note, less, murdery? Murdery. We'll use the word murdery.
Yeah, because the next one's going to be a doozy.
Next one's going to be so pleasant.
Oh, yeah. Dawathai are very, happy upgoing creatures.
Yes. You didn't know? They're the most loving there are. If you don't have a Dawathai.
They want to give you a big hug.
With knife hands.
Edward's, they're misunderstood, like Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, sure. Like Edward Scissorhands. He also has he has scissor hands. It's the entire idea of like, you know what I'm going to do? Give someone knife hands. That's a great idea.
And
look, I'm not saying
just looking at the one picture of one, and it looks like it has a horrible maw in the front and a bone maw on its ass.
Look, they didn't bode well when it came to becoming shadow creatures. Things went bad for them, even more than a lot of other beings. Just saying.
I don't want a bone maw on my ass, do you?
They also, as a species, may have not been humanoid to begin with, honestly. We don't really know. And you honestly don't know, because these things have just existed as their form for too long to know. Anyway, so you're going to try to contact your Dawathai.
Yeah, Drixel.
It, of course, will be once again diving into the shadows. Into the mists. But this time, as soon as you start to concentrate on Drixel, the mists turn to swirling shadows, to darkness. The voices that have been cacophonously disjointed turn to screams. Horrible, horrible screams that seem to echo throughout everywhere. The shadows are awful. You can just sense pain and anger. And the shapes in here seem hostile, violent. This is awful. There's just something unnatural about everything here. It just screams, get out, get away from here. This is not a place for you.
Unfortunately, I am stubborn.
And so you're calling forth to the shadows. To Drixel.
Drixel, I seek you.
As you say the name, not just one thing responds, but now you feel as if there are dozens of eyes upon you. Beings in the shadows just watching you from the darkness. Red eyes that glow. And the amount of hostility that just seems to surround you expands greatly. You can just sense like everything around you just wishes to find you dead. To tear your skin off. To murder you in various awful ways. It is unpleasant. Disconcerting. But it seems as though, like, the screaming has stopped. Maybe that's the most disturbing of everything here. It's quiet. Just
Too
eyes
quiet.
on you. There seems to be no specific response from Drixel. Just the eyes now all on you.
I'm going to move forward.
You feel as though the darkness stays with you as you move. It just surrounds you, and it's a bit disconcerting, to be sure. It feels as though everything that's out there is just looking for a chance to get at you. Snarling beasts of unusual and inhuman shapes. The shadows all around you. Each one of them no longer screaming, but as you kind of see them moving, you can sense that they are a manifestation of a scream almost. Of suffering, of pain. And the pure anger and hostility that just oozes from everything here is palpable. You feel as though there's just this jealousy. Maybe that's what it is. A jealousy. Because you're not here. You're not in the shadows.
I don't live the same tortured existence.
No.
Drixel, I know you're here somewhere. I want to speak with you.
Voice speaks out. But it's not a voice. The words it says are alien, monstrous, but somehow you understand it, which is unusual. It feels wrong, but it's there. It's just a disturbing thing. And you can hear that voice kind of echo into your mind. A gruff and horrid, "What do you want, light Sorry.
I want to speak. I want to understand you.
Your existence is an affront to everything in the universe. You mock our existence, walking amongst the light, yet touching the shadows. For generations, we found ourselves in a living hell.
As it says that, like, just for a second, everything changes to, like, a flash of, like, almost light, and you found yourself just an alien hellscape, just for a second. That just, you could feel a chill in your spine for the existence, whatever it was in the shadows. It just chilled you to the core.
What makes you think you are any different than us? A monster! We will drag everything. Shadows! Why are you not dragging to the shadows? Your hell should be their hell. Consume them!
I seek to be more than what I was designed for.
Nothing is more than the hell we are put into.
You may believe that, but I believe differently.
Perhaps that you need to be replaced, and a better suitor must be in charge of your hellscape. There is a grand world in front of you to be consumed in shadows and darkness. Pain shall be shared with all.
Or maybe
will consume.
Maybe this is a chance for you to experience something other than that hellscape.
You suggest something. And I exist in both the hell of that place and the hell of you. What makes you think you can free me from anything? We are just a memory of the hell. We are all dead, murdered when the great merger happened. We are but living vestments of pain and suffering. I know this from you. I am like home. I sense what you do. We are different because we exist within your shadow. We are with you at all times.
And I understand that now. I didn't originally.
Yes, you see now that your darkness and the consumption will always be with you. Why?
Darkness is part of everything.
Why do you resist our pain?
Because, as I'm sure you weren't always what you are now, before the merger, something else existed.
I come from a time. Those of that time no longer exist in the shadows. They existed for a time, for all the changes that occurred. You forget we were drawn there by the tormentors of your soul, and we found ourselves trapped in the madness and hell. The only escape was to drag others with us to our hell. Their
How about
pain felt so wonderful.
But wouldn't it be better to be able to exact that pain on the ones who gave it to you first?
They are dead. They are gone. The world is destroyed. You forget we see through your shadow. We know their results.
There are ones that I still seek out there that, if not Phyrexian directly, are trying to gather what they left behind.
To seek the false shadows. Is that it?
Yes.
Foul! You down!
I wish to stop the one.
You are foolish to think you can oppose such a thing. But the ill do are the least of your worries if you touch the shadows. The ill core still is with you too. He has expressed himself. A monster that is even more twisted than us. We sensed his shadows and the anger he has. You saw him.
Yes.
But did you see him? He struck your brother's family down. That one.
He is one of the others that we wish to stop.
Ha! Why would we fight his shadows? They are worse than ours. How he keeps his sanity is impressive. I kept most of mine, which is why I was chosen for you, to be your shadow. For I am less man than the others. I am less monster, but still desire to tear the skin off of those around me, and perhaps devour it, or turn it to hell shadow.
What I seek from you is the strength to be able to fight these people.
Fine. That is an interesting idea. A joke, if you will. You know that we have not seen in all of our existence in our hell.
But you don't exist just in your hell anymore. You exist as part of me.
We exist in your shadow, a shadow of wrath. Have you not found it strange? The darkness in you, the
Yes.
anger in many of your souls. It is because some of the shadow realm of wrath was placed inside you.
But it's not the only existence you have to exist in now.
Wrath is not gone. If you would remove wrath, we would be free. But can you? It is one with Dominaria. No. You can't. You can't free us from our hell. You cannot bring us death. You cannot bring us life. You can bring us nothing but more suffering.
I can bring you at least a target.
Our target. All that lives is our target. You hold us back. We only wish to bring suffering once more, as we did on our home. Unleash the Legion.
I will let you have a taste of giving someone their just due.
You speak half-truths. We know your twisted tongue.
These people my friends and I are trying to stop. The only way they are going to stop is with their deaths. You can help with that.
Why would we wish to stop them? What is in it for us?
My friend Kaz, I'm sure you are aware of, is a great genius. If there's a way to free your people, I will work with him and try to do so.
Hollow words, but words that you hold true. I can see you are telling the truth that you would have your little goblin friend try to figure out in between the realms, in between the surface, in the shadows of very existence where we exist. We are on a deeper layer than even those foul beasts like the Elcor. He'll tell. But there is another you may seek if you wish to try that. Prove that you are meaningful. Seek out the Elvech. If you do that, perhaps the Legion will swear fealty to you. For now, remember, I am watching your every move, ready for you to slip up and take over your body, or perhaps to find opportunity to do more damage, or perhaps opportunity to help ourselves by helping you. You do not know what we want until you give us that opportunity.
I will do
your shadow.
I will do the best I can, and I will seek out the Ilvec.
The city of traitors still exists. Their torture is as great as ours. Are they mad now, or more beast than we ever were? I will be interested to see. As the shadows fade to mist once more.
Could have been a lot worse.
I mean, you know a horrible legion of horrible shadow monsters exists within your actual very shadow and wishes to be unleashed upon the world to cause it death and destruction.
I mean, I kind of had an inkling about that.
He is the only voice amongst many, but the others exist too, because he exists. Which is also really probably a terrible existence, honestly, but
So now I just have to, save the Dwathai. Find a way also to get to Chandalar to hopefully reincarnate a half-dragon angel.
Mm-hmm. Half dragon, quarter human, quarter angel. We'll say.
You know what I'm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think your giant wants to visit Kalheim just to, like, have you, like, do, like, a ceremonial, actual, like, funeral or something for him or something like that,
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. He wants, like, he's fine with being part of me, but he wants his, like, former form to actually have the proper, like, funeral rites or something. So, stuff like that.
Well, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Kaz really needs to get on this plane hopping business, because I'm definitely going to need to be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's either that or I got to try using that door.
You theoretically might be able to use that door. The door is a thing, and technically you do know of the existence of a number of planes now. Chandelar, for one.
Yep.
You know of Kaldheim's existence. Not by name, but you know of his existence. Because you know one of the nine realms of Kaldheim. It was named by the giant. I forget which one it is off the top of my head, but I think it was the Frost one. The one because he's like a frost giant or something, or whatever the giants are of Kaldheim. Whatever they equate to in good old Norse mythology. So.
Oh yeah, and help get a queen back, possibly.
Well, that's a little bit more down, like just like the City of Shadows, or City of Traitors as it is, which exists in this plane. It also technically exists on this plane. Technically, so I mean, you're in a correct place-ish.
Yeah. Oh god, I got a lot of work to do.
You do indeed.
I haven't even talked to everyone yet.
No. Yeah,
what's the tree folk gonna want from me?
That's a question.
Yeah. And I'm not even touching the Fiend, Licit, and Lakelith at the moment.
Yeah. There's probably like a few others that wouldn't be terrible to touch into, and you're not doing those anytime soon. But, they have less impact.
Yeah, then there's my original forms that I could take, and those are just to be, understand myself better.
Yes. Very true. Very, very true. But I think, let me just check the... Yeah, because the original ones were...
The Elf, Merfolk, Mog, the Vec Human, the Doll Human, the Thrall Surgeon.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the Core.
And the Core. Yeah, those were your original 7 that you had.
Yeah.
And so far you've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Made contact with 3 of your 8 stranger ones. Well, technically there's a 9th one that you've already made contact.
And then I've made contact, but I am not becoming buddy with him.
I don't see why not. He could have useful information for you.
I don't trust... I would have more trust in the Fiend or the Dwarfai than I do for him.
I mean, that's accurate. He is... you don't have just one horrible, really awful, evil thing in you. You've got multiples.
Even normal transformations have some problems in there.
Well, yes, that's true. Very true. So, one more for today, for the road.
Bavelson? Bavelson?
Yes. Bavelson. Baveluzin.
Yeah. Tree folk.
So,
at least hopefully this one will be somewhat peaceful.
You once again dive deep into the mists of your mind, into the voices, with an attempt to contact something that's there, to feel what was going on. And you, of course, feel definitely some unusualness as you're trying to connect up with Bavaluzin. I think it's Bavluzin.
Bavluzin. Okay.
Yeah, Bavluzin. It is like touching into a current of thoughts that's different than the ones you've felt before. I guess that's the best way to say it. It's more thoughts. It feels as though there are hundreds of voices in amongst those voices. It's sort of like focusing on even one of Bavluzin. Just trying to focus on Bavluzin, you're just getting like almost a cacophony of voices.
Like a forest.
Like a forest. But the forest is different. And that's where you kind of come in. It's so different. You find yourself all of a sudden, no drop, no sudden change, almost a sudden just shift. And it's strange. You're in between two worlds. On one side, a beautiful, ideal forest. Birds are chirping. There's a babbling brook. You can see like butterflies and beautiful flowers, and everything seems so ideal. On the other side, twisted darkness. Blackened trees. Strange lights. The river, cold. Black. Everything seems dark.
Might not be as easy as I was hoping. Is there any kind of path here?
No. There's a path that seems to almost be in between these two worlds. But there's something odd. Something you almost notice at the drop of a hat. The two sides are mirrored. They are completely different. Yet things are the same. The trees in similar positions. The river, a similar bend. A rock. The same rock is on the other side. These two sides are mirrors, opposites of each other.
Maybe from the tortured existence of what the Phyrexians did.
Perhaps.
Well, I guess I'll start down the path that goes in between the two worlds.
The forests are like night and day. In fact, it's something you notice. The one side is bright, as if it is the middle of the day. And the other side, dark, as it's the middle of the night. They feel very different, but they also feel so similar. It is a little disconcerting.
Two sides of the same coin.
The mirror path leads to a clearing. One side, a pristine area of little grass, wildflowers, small animals. The other twisted, razor-like reeds with strange noises coming from deep within them of things perhaps hunting. Dangers that lurk. Blackened plants. In between the two is a massive tree.
I'll approach the tree.
It will turn towards you.
Bavlusen?
No. I am another. And before you must talk to that one, you must seek me. He is of ash, as I am of you. But we are both elders. He was lost to us. He remembers, as I remembered. But things are different now. My spirit has moved on to the trees and woods. This realm before you no longer exists. Night and day are no longer separate but one. Before you talk to the Elder Ash, I felt it necessary to speak to you. I am merely a ghost, but a ghost with a long memory. And unfortunately, our nightmare is yours. The one you call the witch.
Yes.
She comes from the place that we come from. Bavlusen and myself. I'm Korfanor, the last you.
Pleasure to meet you. My name is Claud.
I can guide you to Bavlusen. But I must warn you, it is of two minds. It was torn from our lands when the great change was happening. When the great aurora was occurring. When night turns to day.
Was this something that the Phyrexians doing?
No. We know not of your strange metallic beings.
They did not enter our realms. Ours was a realm that was cursed by an evil Fey Queen, the mistress of your witch. For a long time, we were of two realms yet one. Day and night. It was through my efforts and my death that the two are now one. The result of this I cannot sense anymore, for I am beyond this world, and still in between the old worlds. But, as I said, there was one other. Trapped between the two, it lost its mind. What I can understand, it was captured by your Phyrexians, wishing to learn from the old Ash. But without a mind, they could not. And it ended up in you. So perhaps you can help it regain its mind in this world between worlds. As night becomes day, the great aurora brings the one, and the evening tide brought the other. Now, day and night are part of the same world. The dark places are in their proper place, and the light is in their proper place. The Fae were immune to the changes. We of the trees could also remember. Some were affected more than others, though. It was unfortunate at the change that we lost such a great Ash so long ago. Perhaps things could have gone differently. Perhaps I would not have been the last of my kind.
Unfortunately, we cannot change the past. We can only learn from it.
This is true. So, traveler, I came here not to address you on behalf of Bavluzin, though I will assist on that, but to warn you of your wish, which a Fae such as that is most dangerous. Her desire to return may spell danger for both your realm and ours, the one we came from. She does not know that her queen is gone, and the plans have been undone. I'm sure she would be surprised and angered. The destruction she could do. The blood of a queen.
I didn't think there was any good in her.
Perhaps there could have been some left, but it is long since gone. What happened to her changed it all.
Locked up and left in pain. She said once torn from her realm, she was in complete agony.
You cannot kill the Queen of the Fae. She who had cursed our realm and had caused all the pain and suffering that she did. But her form is less threatening. If she should return to our realm, perhaps Ona could resurrect herself. She could perhaps do that without the help. But a powerful creature such as herself would certainly make it very easy.
So she can't be allowed to return home.
I'm afraid not. Her twisted queen caused much pain and suffering on our realms. The curse between day and night is vast. We of the trees did not remember what happened, but we understood what had happened, if that makes sense. We lost our memories of the change, but we knew something had occurred. It is what allowed me to have my plans. I could not remember the two worlds, but I know the world was changing, and it was causing problems, leading to the death of my kin and my breed. None others could remember it. Think about it. If your entire world changes, he'll look over to the light side, a pristine day, where it's always sunny and beautiful, to a twisted night of darkness and monsters. How many lost their lives in the darkness? How many beings were tormented, only to never wake up? And when the day came, not remember the losses and the loved ones which went away. To have your memories pass it off as something simple, to ignore it, to be gone. Our world was a tormentive existence. I only hope now, with day and night as one again, perhaps some balance can be found. I will never know. This witch cannot be allowed to return. She will seek ways to do it. She'll most likely seek you and your kin. Once she regains your power, you may have to deal with her.
We may have to seek her out before that, if it's not too late.
It is never too late to act. You must always just deal with the consequences that arrive from waiting. For there will always be consequences no matter what, as time goes by.
Very true.
So, I will show you the way, the one you seek.
Thank you.
You must remind him. Must remind it of what it is, and who it is. Its memories may not return completely, but it may understand what it was. You can let it know we are safe. The world was saved, though it may not return home. Like myself, it is a ghost. It'll kind of move out of the way, kind of shifting,
kind of revealing the path between the two worlds again, and kind of go. Go now. My time grows short. I am merely a shadow in between two worlds. A memory brought on from an old friend.
Thank you for your help. And I'll continue down the path.
You'll hear kind of a fading voice as you head down the path. Is like,
Nope, you broke up.
Oh, sorry. You'll hear kind of a fading voice as you head down the path that kind of like echoes for a little bit. Should you ever find a way, and the threat is gone, perhaps you could visit my home, see what became of it. Let us know what became of it.
I will, if I can find a way, I will. I hope it'll bring you some peace.
You'll head down the path. There's another clearing a ways down the path. But this one isn't just a natural one. In the center of the clearing, almost screaming, is a massive tree folk just smashing into trees, lashing out in all directions. There's something wrong with it. You can almost see it's similar to the divide down the world. There's a divide in it. But it's not like a perfect down the middle divide. It's this kind of twisted, jagged. There's two sides that are kind of like mashed together in a weird way and kind of mixing in strange ways that just each side feels completely different than the other. And they both are screaming as it's just lashing out.
Bavluzan.
It takes no note of you, just swatting away at another tree, driving it away. Letting out this strange noise that's just this kind of primal scream that's almost a creaking noise of creaking of a tree combined with just the grating of pieces of stone or wood against each other in strange ways to make this just noise that just disturbs you.
I'll continue to approach it.
As you get close enough, it kind of turns towards you. It takes a swipe. Smacking into you, knocking you down.
Bavluzan. That is who you are.
It takes you a bit. As it kind of swipes at you a few times, this time you're more ready for it, dodging out of the way. It begins to kind of slow.
Your friend Corfanor wished me to speak to you.
A voice kind of spouts out in between the screams. What?
He wants me to remind you who you are. Who you were.
It hurts so much. It hurts. Pain. Pain.
I know the pain you speak.
My body is tearing apart. What is wrong? It hurts so much.
There was a terrible curse on your realm. Corfanor of night and day. horrible things would happen at night. And when the day came, no one could remember them. Your friend Corfinor tried to heal the realm by having night and day merge back so they would coexist.
I am too. Why am I too?
I think it has to do with the merger that happened, with night and day both existing at the same time.
Close. You did hear from this one. He said he was kidnapped when there was in between a transition.
Yeah, and then you were taken during the transition.
Yeah.
I am between night and day. It hurts so much. The pain. He sought balance between pain. Why? It's madness.
He thought it was best for your world. And this wouldn't have happened to you if the Phyrexians hadn't come and taken you during the transformation.
The what?
You were kidnapped from your realm.
Taken.
And experimented on.
I only remember the pain. I know no experiment, just pain.
I cannot say if that's from what happened with the merger and you're taken during it, or the pain that the Phyrexians most likely inflicted on you before you died.
I'm dead.
What is left of you exists within me. Your essence.
You can help then. You hear of balance. Can you give me balance?
I can try. I'm not sure exactly what to do. Maybe step into the light side here.
I've been in both. It doesn't matter. What must I do? Yo, what must you do? If I am you, then you can give me balance. Maybe you can save me from the pain.
Trying to think.
It can be difficult. What can you do? What does he ask? These are difficult answers. But they're there in front of you.
I'm going to reach out and put my hand on him.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to concentrate on what I can picture what he originally looked like.
The thing is, you think that both of his sides are what he originally looked like. He looked like one way during the day, and one way during the night. But they're both him.
You need to accept the darkness and the light.
It is hard.
There's darkness and light in all of us. We need to accept our darker side exists, but not let it control us. The darker side is where fear comes from. But fear is not a bad thing. Fear is what can keep us alive in the moments we're unsure how to act. The light will guide us to do the right thing. But the dark is there to protect us as well. You need to accept both.
Will I be safe?
I will not let anything harm you.
It hurts so much. Will it not hurt anymore?
Not if you accept it. The torture you feel is you're fighting against yourself. You're trying to split yourself in two. You need to accept both sides.
I felt the pain so long. It's all I've known for so long.
You've known peace before, though.
Peace.
You have to remember.
Remember. Peace.
Think about your friends. Think about the ones you loved.
Love? I can't remember. I don't remember. The names. They are hidden. Muddled. Too memories. Too much memories.
Try to relax.
Can you take it on? Can you take on my pain?
I am strong enough if you need me to do that.
Thank you.
It hurts like a bitch. It is awful. It is... You literally feel like you're tearing yourself in half. As it changes into something else. Something in between its two forms. But you can feel like all that pain and suffering it was having from being between two worlds, twisted in between it, stuck in between it, entering into you. You begin to understand what it meant to be this tortured existence. That it just happened to be a chance. Chance that created this torment for this poor creature. It was drug away from its own plane, but at the right moment to create the absolute worst torment for its existence. It was suffering from this for who knows how long, even before the Phyrexians got to it. You don't even know if what the Phyrexians did to it could even match this feeling of pain and suffering. This is just no way to exist. And this thing was suffering through it for who knows how long. But peace washes over it. Thank you. The pain is gone.
I'm glad I could help, friend.
What will become of us? It seems I am you now, and you are me.
We will exist. Just like night and day exists.
The memories of the forest all exist within us. Perhaps you too may hear the trees now. Your world is so different than mine. It is less cursed. Perhaps it's my world now.
I do plan on keeping my promise to your friend and visit your world once again.
I would like to see that then. But still, perhaps this is a time for you to teach yourself to feel the trees, to feel the nature. My kind was always in tune with everything. We bore from nothing and found strength. Maybe you must do the same.
It's been a long time, but I've been learning that. I tried to run from my problems. It's time I face them.
You have faced my problem, and my problem was your problem. So perhaps your problems are my problems now. We are but trees in a forest, leaves on a plant. Should you be in need of nature or myself, call out. We are here. You are not alone now. Me.
I appreciate that.
I have done such great for myself, it seems. The me that is not me. It is me.
Sometimes we lose ourselves. I'm glad I was able to help you regain yourself.
But I am not me that was, either. I'm something new. Just like my home would be something new. Well, we shall see, perhaps one day. Perhaps.
I hope to do that for you.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Well, you've learned a little bit more. You've gotten in contact with the powerful ancient tree folk, that spirit that's within you. And maybe now could communicate with nature a little bit better, if you needed to, by calling upon its strength.
Too bad I didn't talk to him before we went to Yavamea.
Yes! That would have been a thing. You definitely could have helped in that situation, but, you know, you didn't need it in that situation. It's a great way of saying it, too.
Yeah, but it also might have benefited us when we had to talk to the different groups.
That's true.
Especially when we had to talk to, oh god, my brain's dying on his name.
Multani?
Multani, thank you.
Yeah. Powerful elemental spirit. Yeah, tree folk, which are definitely effectively lesser elementals. As most tree folk are technically born from the seeds of normal trees, and at just some point in time, they get smart. At least that's how it works in his plane. There might be just tree folk born from, like, the seeds of other tree folk in, like, other planes. Honestly, I'm not 100% aware. I know how they work in, because he's from Lorwyn and Shadowmere. Just like the witch was.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a talk with the group on that one.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, Carrie, we need to go see your mentor, and probably kill her.
I mean, that's maybe.
Honestly, it would be either probably kill her or restrain her for the remainder of her life, which I think is worse for her, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that would be a worse existence for her than, unfortunately, taking her life. I think would actually be the kinder thing to do.
It's a tough thing,
She can't go home. We can't let her go home.
It's the unfortunate thing that she'd be too much of a danger in her own home, you know?
And she's in constant pain being away from it.
Yeah. Also, the entire, have your flesh reaped from its bones kind of thing. That also doesn't help, too.
That's why I'm saying it's unfortunately probably best to end her life than lock her up.
But that reaches us to the end of the Claud special, as I like calling it. This is 4 jumps into some of the personalities and mindsets of Claud and gives you an idea of where some of these things come from in the various planar places and their own histories and how they're all very interesting characters in and of themselves that are all part of you.
Maybe I'll be a little less tortured now.
I mean, each step on the right direction.
Well, also without having a tree folk tearing itself apart in me.
I mean, and the half dragon forgot all of its horrible torment, and the shadow creatures are still there, but they've always existed in your shadows, and they're probably watching you from it constantly, which is just kind of creepy and also really horrible. Which makes sense as to why you had a shadow creature in you. They made it your shadow is a shadow monster.
So, just me and my shadow.
Hey, it was a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway,
also to make me a better killer, probably too.
Does kind of want you to kill a lot of things because they hate life. They quite literally are jealous and hate anything else because they're not in the same tormented existence that they're in. Which is, also not pleasant for them.
Misery wants company.
It does. And it wants to have you do that through overwhelming violence.
God, makes me think of freaking Hellraiser.
It is a little Hellraiser-y. You're right. I didn't even think about it. But you're right. Little Hellraiser-y. Definitely. So. Anyway, thank you for joining. I think we were going to have this special and 2 weeks off, so I think we're going to have 1 more week off, I think we said. I believe that's what we said.
I thought it was 1 week off, but if it's 2, it's fine.
I might take an extra one because there's some stuff I was working on just to give myself some extra time, honestly.
Gotcha.
This game is a pretty easy one to prep for, but an extra week might be good for prepping other stuff and getting it done with because I've been working on my Wednesday game, and we might have a second player that will need to bow out, so I might have to find 2 players. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
We're figuring that out. That I was already looking for a 5th player, but now we might have to find a 4th and a 5th. We're finding out about that, so that's kind of been on. That's just something that came up with someone too. So it's sort of like fuck, we gotta work on this shit. So that's been switch of priority of trying to get that kind of thing. So again, trying to get some stuff worked out. My schedule is of course going to be should be doing Final Fantasy V tomorrow morning. I'll be doing that because I finished Pathfinder. Yeah, Joe, I finished Pathfinder Kingmaker. The ending sucked. I will talk about it a little bit off stream, just for like maybe
Yeah.
5 minutes or something. But yeah, I will tell you, ending sucked. Pretty much drove the almost. It may have ruined the game for me. The ending was that bad.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Maybe I shouldn't go back to it at some point.
I'll give you some spoilers that might help you, because you should know these spoilers. Like there's certain things that happen that you should know about before you get to the ending, honestly, because of the way they do it. And there's definitely certain things that they don't teach you in that course of that entire game that they don't have tutorials for. That, you guess what, I learned in like the chapter 7. Like, I also got really unlucky that, like, there's a lot of time constraint in that game, and the one thing which was half time for ranking up your kingdom, most people get that in chapter 4. You know when I got that? Chapter 7. So I was way behind on building your kingdom at the end of the game.
Ugh.
But anyway, so and then I'm theoretically discussing tabletop on Saturday. It seems as though like I've confirmed that I'll be doing something early afternoon, so I'm just gonna have to talk to people, anybody that was gonna be free for it, if I can do it a little later, like 4 or 5 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. If we can do that, we'll push it off. If not, we'll just skip it this week. It would have been if I had managed to arrange PAX East, which I did not. If you saw my Twitter, I would have been there. Unfortunately, just it fell out of the cards, and the possibility of rescheduling it became really difficult. So I just, we never did. I really did kind of want to go this day. It would have been nice to get to Boston, but wasn't a year for it. Maybe next year.
Right.
Maybe next year I'll get you. You'll be in a good shape, and I can drag you up there. You'll have moved into a new place or something. And I can be like, hey Joe, let's go on this massive trip up to Boston. We can check out we can like arrive there and get an extra day or something. So we're like
baked beans.
Get a 6-day weekend. Go from Thursday to Monday and spend an extra day just hanging out in Boston, because you're driving back anyway. That's like a 5-hour drive that you could do at the end of the day anyway. So anyway, you have anything to shout out? I don't normally. You're just usually here.
Yeah, I'm pretty much here. I'll let you know if I can do Saturday, but probably later is not going to work for me because I'm probably going to be visiting Dad.
Hey, it's occasionally Saturdays anyway. So
yeah.
I'll just have to probably see if Momo's around. Maybe Lightning. Maybe Lightning could do later. But I'll probably check in with that tomorrow, because tonight might be too late. I might be able to get like Lightning, but maybe Momo's probably in bed by now. But anyway, that's what's going on right now. Play Sunday by ear as normal, and then next week I'll put up a schedule. I've got more Final Fantasy V, which I've been enjoying a bunch, and some another game to replace Pathfinder Kingmaker. Which if you want to check out my finale for that, I give a like 30 to 45 minute tirade on that game before I do the finale. Also, I will note, because Joe, that's really good, because I decided to slightly cheat and accidentally super cheated.
Okay.
My slightly cheat was I was going to level myself up to 20, and then also put up all my ability scores to 20. I accidentally, instead of putting it up to 20, multiplied them by 5. So some people had over 100 for stats.
Wow.
I will put this out. The final dungeon was still very hard, even with those stats.
Jeez.
That's how bad it was. We'll talk about that. Anyway, bye for now, everybody. Farewell.
Oh.